Kublai parlok sashisin ipriang sumbai pi shagani program ke jongi kita ka one-on-one interview but kira pokma jang ke jalame glaya but minta ke tingi dan but ngi yo myntri ke tnad ke pule ke puthi Rakkam A Sangma menyekran but ngi halor ki mat ba pair ki bay but kani ke tnad. Thank you so much, sir, for agreeing to do this interview with us, and we have various questions for you relating to your department. First of all, let's talk about the recently declared SSLC examination. We saw a dramatic increase in the pass percentage from 56% to 87.10%. So how did this number come about, sir? Like, what is the secret behind this?
Thank you so much. So with regard to your question, yes, at the very outset, I would like to congratulate all the successful students of the state and the institutes that have performed well. And those who could not, so it's my request, this moment should not be the hopeless for you, but rather it should challenge and ignite your minds for that, because there is always a next for everybody. With this question, like, yes, for the first time in the history of our state, we could increase the pass percentage, especially in the SSLC examination. Because last, when I took over, and before even my predecessor, government is aware of the different challenges, especially in the class 10 board examination. So after my taking over as a education minister, after consultation with the Honorable Chief Minister, I have toured many of the districts. We have met all the head of institutions, the officials at the district levels, and we have meeting with all the deputy commissioner, even in Garo Hills, one in Garo Hills region, one in Klas region. We have met different experts, we have met different officials, and we got their suggestion, and we have identified district-wise which district is performing well and which is not, and within the district which school is performing well and which is not. We have went to that level, and we have consultation meeting with the deputy commissioner, our officials, and we have directed our deputy commissioner to visit all the schools, those who are performing well. And also we have appointed one of the MCS officer, even each district, as in charge education. He will supervise the progress of the schools, and they even went to the schools to motivate and to understand the challenges of the particular school, why they are not performing. Because I know I don't have figure with me, more than 30, 40, I think 100 schools are zero pass percentage in the previous years and consecutive years. So we have got all those details. So therefore we have come up with certain intervention. With the small intervention, we have seen today a big difference.
Okay.
Number one, I will tell you what number one intervention was: the textbook. We have understood the curriculum, the syllabus, the textbooks that MBOs at a state we are using is different from the rest of the country.
Yes.
The first intervention was we have introduced to adopt the NCERT textbook, which at per standard with all across the country, number one. And number two, we have gone through all this detail, and we have decided, after introduction of the NCERT textbook, we have decided to adopt the CBSE or ICIC, right, all India level, and with the rest of the country, the question pattern standard. We have changed the question pattern standard. Normally, in the CBSE pattern, suppose in the ICSE pattern, where the rest of the country, they have a question of objective type question.
Yes.
From 20, 25, some state give 20, some state give 25, some are 30. So we have decided, why not we also go with that same standard.
Okay.
So MBOs usually used to give only 4 marks as a objective question. This time we have introduced 25 to 30 MCQ question. There's the question pattern has been changed to at par with the rest of the country and with the CBSE standard. And also recently we have shortage of qualified and experienced teachers at the rural especially. So we have what happened is, in order to compensate, we have introduced a QR code, QR code in the textbook itself. Now Now you open up the textbook of class 9 and 10, especially science and mathematics. Every chapter, every topics, every page, you will get a video teaching, video explanation, and the solved paper. Every questions, every exercise of the textbook has been solved through video. All this ready-made we have made us intervention. Why we did this? Because Shillong and Tura and Jowai doesn't have much problem, especially in rural, because the low percentage is coming from the rural.
Yes.
So there's a reason, because they don't have experienced teacher. They don't have science good teacher. They don't have a mathematics teacher. They don't have a good English teacher. We understand this. Therefore now, this book has really helped them, because we have introduced in the month of December. Last 2 months, they have used this book also. If you ask the publisher, they will know, you get the record. So all things interpret and help. And also we have launched a program called CM Impact. CM Impact is not only that books, the entire program. Under CM Impact, we have had a consultation with the teachers. We have a teachers training. We have a consultation meeting with all the stakeholders, the academicians. We even met the students, and we have even gave some teaching guidebook material for the teachers. And also at the end, we have published a books, it's called CM Impact, which contains more than 1,000 solved question paper of the previous years and the expected questions.
Okay.
Because normally classes, teaching in the classes and preparing for the exams is quite different. Quite different. Yeah.
So we understand that the education department itself is a very complex and complicated department,
Yes.
due to various reasons. And you had mentioned that even your predecessor had tried to sort out these problems. And like you mentioned, when you took over, there were many schools in rural areas, especially in Garo Hills, with 0 pass percentage. And during that time, I remember the government had even decided to take stringent action, that is closing down these schools. But now you mentioned that instead of doing that, you have taken these interventions. Now coming back to your CM impacts of the guidebook, many people state that this drastic, I mean not drastic, but this remarkable increase in the pass percentage has raised a few questions, if I may say, being that is the government compromising on quality just to achieve that 87.10%?
No. So let me explain in details. People don't understand much about this. CM Impact is not about textbook. Textbook, it's about entire program, including that textbook. I've said, when I was a class 10 students, I did from CBSE.
Okay.
I did from CBSE. Our teachers, we have us classes whole year. But when we come for the examination preparation, our teachers used to tell us and give us solution of previous 10 years question paper of the previous years. We study. And all the expected question paper we used to study. If we studied the last 10 years question papers, solved papers, and if we practice all expected question papers for the exam, when it comes to preparation for the examination, then when we sit for the examination, 50% to 60% question paper are repeated. We can write easily. That really help us. This is what we did in the CM Impact textbook. It is just guidance, tips how to prepare the question, how to go for the exam when it comes to the preparation for the examination. So, the CM Impact, we have, I think, more than thousands questions has been solved previous years, expected questions, so that it will guide the students how to prepare for the examination. Right? It is just for the exam preparation perspective.
Okay.
So therefore, for all this really helped them. But book will not make them pass, but students really work hard. Because we have really undergone to all the levels, encourage, motivate them, and it really encourage them to study there. But it is credit goes to the students who have to work hard, and teachers, head of institutions, they have took all this seriously this time, and therefore all this endeavor. Yes, of course, government has done some efforts, but at the end of the day, it's the students and the parents and the teachers who have to really work hard to see this result.
So it's like, while the government provide all of these guidance and materials, at the end of the day, it depends on the students.
Correct. I just want to add one more.
Yes, sir.
Look, in every government, we try. Way back in 2006 or 2009, in the previous government. So in order to increase standard and the pass percentage. Even the mathematics and science is given optional. It is still going on.
Yeah.
But in order to decided not to compromise the standard,
Yes.
we have decided no, we should make this compulsory.
True.
Therefore, from 2027 board examination, mathematics will be compulsory and the mandatory, and every students have to pass the mathematics at any cost.
So that best of 5 initiative that taken, that did not prove to be really successful.
Correct. So true.
So the government wants to change that again, to revert.
Yeah. So we don't want to compromise the standard, as well as look, mathematics. Yes, you can exam, you can opt out of the mathematics or science in the SSLC examination. When it comes to the competitive examination, be it the JEE, or NEET, or DSC examination, or UPSC examination, or MPSC examination, there is no any optional paper for the mathematics. It's become mandatory.
Yes.
Therefore, for all these reasons, we want to introduce back to we will make mathematics compulsory from 2027. Yeah.
So do you think this initiative, this different approach to setting question papers, following the standard of ICSE and CBSE, is going to prepare the students better, especially those who wants to compete in different competitive examinations?
Correct. This is what the point it is. Because look, we always used to say, nobody is second to nobody. We are second to nobody. So therefore, the standard of our education system should be at par with the rest of the country and with the rest of the world. At the end of the day, I met 4 or 5 students from St. Anthony and St. Edmund. They just met me. They were saying, sir, thank you so much for adoption of the NCERT textbook. Because why, sir? Normally after the SSLC exam from the Meghalaya Board of School Education, we have to undergo special coaching for the JEE or NET examination for 2 months, 3 months. But since after the introduction of this textbook, we are at the same standard with the rest of the country, and we don't need to go for special tuition anymore. This is the feedback that we get it.
So why do you think it took so long for Meghalaya to introduce the NCERT?
That I don't have any answer for that. But however, everybody has tried and nobody has took decision on that. But as being I'm also one of the teacher. I'm also as a academicians. I really understand where to start and how to start with. So with the consultation of the Honorable Chief Minister, he really guided us. Honorable Chief Minister really guided us, and our Chief Minister is never to compromise for standard and quality of education. Therefore, we have took that decision in the cabinet, and we have decided that we are second to, of course, yesterday also we are second to nobody. But today we are at par with the rest of the world and rest of the country. Yeah.
So like you mentioned, especially in the rural areas, there is a lack of trained teachers. If you visit, I believed, because you said you've toured the different places and districts of the state, and you've seen the schools, condition of the schools with your own eyes. And we do know that there are a lack of trained teachers, proxy teachers, and different schools where, students are not getting better classrooms, the infrastructure and all that. So do you think these are the underlying problems and challenges that the government is currently facing and trying to address?
No, all this contribute. But however, let me correct and let me admit today, like the quality of teaching, quality of the classroom doesn't depend on infrastructure what you have. But it is depend purely 80% of the quality of teaching depend on the teacher. So yes, this under the dynamic chairmanship and the Chief Minister of Honorable Chief Minister Rakkam A Sangma, last 7 years, after 50 years, we have reconstructed almost all the government schools with the new buildings. All the government's primary school has been reconstructed, renovated. And all the secondary, higher secondary school we have reconstructed. And also we have established as much as 21 number of people college, more than 300 to 500 sanctioned posts we've created. So all the intervention we have made, and a new institution like 2 new degree college, and 2 more new will be coming up in East Gentiles and West Kasilas. So 2 more degree colleges will be coming up. So science college in the Maupelang and the Managas is coming up. So, and the new state university after 50 years we have to establish. So all this intervention we have met. So, but however, look in the earlier, look the Meghalaya, we can say it's not far from uncivilization, right? We just changed recently.
Yes.
So my father was just a class, I don't know, class 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But he was he was a teacher. Government in 30 years back, 20 years back, the class, what you call, class 10 pass, class 10 fail also become the teacher in the UP schools. Class 12 pass become the teachers of the UP, the secondary and the UP schools. And the graduate become the teachers of the high school and the secondary. But today, the standard has become so high that even the postgraduate doesn't get the employees for the teaching also. We have to come to that standard today. Because now, every year, about 70 to 18,000 being graduated from the college. Be it graduate, postgraduate or undergraduate. So all things were happening. So completely scenario has been changed today. So with all these things, I think so today, the Meghalaya has also second to nobody today. And we are well equipped. Today we have seen the SSLC results, right? The top 20 also come from different district or rural schools. You have seen this is a testimony that every nook and corner of the state institutions we have experience, and the well-experienced, well-qualified teachers we have. This is a testimony. And also, the students, earlier we used to say, for higher education, we always come from Shillong and Tura. And they never want to stay back in Nongstern or in Riboy and in Zawai, like this. Always come to Shillong. But today, no. We're at the no institution second to nobody today. So we are at the, almost we can say today we are happy that we are at the same standard across the state today. We have seen the quality.
So basically you want to make not just Shillong the educational hub, but overall Meghalaya as the educational hub of Northeast India. So moving on, sir, to the next question, which earlier in one of your press briefings also you had mentioned about the uniform fee structure across all institutions, educational institutions in the state. How did that come along? Did you get the cooperations of these different institutions? Because I understand these private institutions especially do charge exorbitant fees, fees from the students, which is very concerning to say.
Yeah. So just come from the college first.
Yeah.
In our state, we are about 79 or 70 colleges across the state. The prominent institutions in the state are supported by the government. I'll just give you for an example. In the Shillong, we have a prominent institution like, we are proud to say, St. Edmund, St. Anthony, St. Mary's, the Shillong College, Shora Government College, right? So for just for example, in the St. Anthony College, we are spending about 5 crore every month by the state government for the salary.
Okay.
For 119 staff. For the St. Edmund College, government is paying about 4.9 crore, if I'm not wrong, the figure with me, but close to 5 crore every month for the St. Edmund College. And even for Shillong College, even for St. Mary's, more than 5 crore government is spending more than 5 crore every month for the St. Mary's College in the Shillong, right? So this government has supporting all the institutions, but because of pressure of the number of students, the St. Edmund, be it the St. Mary's, be it Shillong College, be it the government college, be it all the colleges like a grant in 8 institutions, they have to charge certain fees. So we have got all the figure today. We have got all the figure, but we are talking to them. We are being on the consultation stage. So how to bring to the standard level so that all the students coming from the poor background can be considered at a different consideration. So, however, but government is spending all across the state for all the institutions. Coming to the school, yes, there are many schools who are being supported by the government. Yes, true. The fee structure is quite different. Some students are very high, but but we will also be writing. We will be instructing the institutions, and we will writing to them for their justification. If their justification is satisfied by the government, or their justification is justified, then it will have a different story. But if their justification is not justified, then government will try to speak to them how to bring down the fee structure, how to standard the fee structure in consideration with all the challenge background of our students people. So government is not yet to be decided, but we will at the consultation stage. We understand that there are many private, yes, for the purely private institutions, government less to say, but those, especially to those institutions who are supported by the government, especially the deficit. So I think government is spending enough fund to them for the, especially for the salary. But however, we will talk to them, we will write to them what is their justification, what is their what's their response to the government. So on this entire fee structure, yeah. Okay. And then after that, we'll work out and how to move forward.
So like you mentioned, just for these 3 to 4 institutions in Shillong itself, the government spends close to 20 crores every month on the salary of the teachers. Yeah. So what is the difference in the quality of education that these institutions gives compared to different institutions? Is it because of the different courses that they provide, or the different professional courses they provide, that they charge so much of fees?
I want to say on this, look, suppose all these institutions that we mentioned just now, yes, there's a challenge. More number of students. Suppose, for example, in the government college, there are only 2,000. But in the San Antonio, Sinatman, they have more than 5,600 students. There's a double of the students. So they have to appoint additional lecturer, additional teacher, and they've been appointed world-renowned, experienced faculty members also. So therefore, this speak about the standard also true. Of course, the quality there is no question of the quality being provided by these institutions. However, being the private institutions, also they have to construct a new buildings. They have to introduce a new courses, different courses, which is not available in other institutions of the state. We know. So this is the challenge. But however, like just to say, like these institutions are also being supported by the government. Just to say that way. But however, in Kyangnam Government College, in Chitra Government College, and in other government college. So in the qualified teachers wise, there is no any discrepancies. Those appointed in the government college also, they are well qualified. However, since these institutions are being existed for quite long, and also one of the best among the best in the country, there is always a different altogether, right? So all this matter.
Sir, talking about school dropouts, we know that the government has come up with an initiative, initiative called Go Back to School initiative. And do you think like a dramatic pass percentage like this year we had, like 87.10, will encourage the students to continue the studies rather than dropping out? Because most of the time these students who do not pass, they do not want to continue the studies. Do you think it's going to change the perception among the students as well?
Right, definitely. Because look, these days, there's a very, very exceptional, very few number. Earlier during our times, during even my elders, during our times, the parent doesn't care about the studies. They will go for the farming and they will just send their children to the school. You go without preparation. But today, we have seen in all the rural, even in rurals, they are dropping their children and spending a whole day waiting at the campus of the schools, whole day to take back their children. We have reached to that level. That means every parent understood the importance of education today about their children, because they are preparing for the future. So therefore, the question of dropping out doesn't arise. But because of some technical reason here, and because some absence of some system, maybe we have seen the figure high. Yes, practically in the secondary school education, there was high. Yes. We can say it is a high dropout rate because of fail. Suppose if there is a 60,000 students appearing for the class 10 examination, out of this, if it is 50%, that means 30% is going to the class 11, 30% become dropout. This dropout will not able to clear again next year. Next year will be another 30,000 will be increased. That means in 2 years we are getting the 60,000 dropout. And the third year we are getting 90,000 dropout. If it is, the figure continues. Therefore, but if they have cleared the exam, yeah, definitely they will be motivated to continue in the school. This will definitely help them. But I would say, suppose, no, conducting a board exam is just a formality. Suppose if the Minister of Education decide under NEP, if Government of Meghalaya decide not to have a board examination, just automatically this will continue for the class 11. But as of now, we are yet to decide on this. But however, yes, definitely the dropout rate will be reduced with all this exercise. And number 2, dropout rate was high in the secondary. Yeah, this almost like we have
Yes.
identified the problem now. At the primary, dropout rate was because of certain just figure. I have to admit today, because of some figure, some incorrect figure, we have seen lots of dropout. Because I want to say today, because of multiple registration of the enrollment in the schools, be it Anganwadi, be it in the, suppose I will give an example, in the midday meal. Midday meal is always used to give for only the class 1 students, from class 1 onward. But to the schools, all the nursery, KGs, they are coming to the school. In all the government school, there is no PP. Therefore, they have to be enrolled in the class 1 in order to feed them a midday meal. When it comes to the class 2, the KG nursery will not go to the class 2. Maybe literally, maybe some figure has become like double enrollment, they're not going practically, but it's not practical. But now we have corrected all this. You will see a different figure now.
Okay.
We've corrected all this because of what you call unique identity card for all the students. Now every students will have their own unique identity number. So now the question, the figure is different now. Altogether, the figure is different. I think you will know later.
So last question, when will the government announce the next academic session? Because you understand, you mentioned that this is a cooling off period for the students. Usually we announce results in the month of May or June, but now it's very early, which is very unprecedented. So when will the government likely announce?
So why this happened? Because earlier, when there was a 50% pass percentage, so the state has enough seat for the students to absorb. But this year, the state, if I'm not wrong, if I'm stand to be corrected, so in the entire state, the capacity of our higher secondary school is about only for 40,000 students in the state. So there are additional 17,000 from Meghalaya Board of School Education this year, and we are expecting 2,000-3,000 more from ICAC and the CBSE students, and we expect another 2,000-3,000 more from supplementary board exam. This is to be scheduled to conduct in the last month of this or early of May. We expect another 5,000. That means another 22 or 23,000 additional students has been increased this year. We want to figure out district-wise what is the intake capacity of the district-wise. Suppose I'll just give because I'm from district. South Klas has a capacity to absorb about 1,700 students in the higher secondary, in all the higher secondary institutions of this district. But this time they have 3,000 students pass. Another 1,500 is additional. So we want to introduce, suppose in government schools, in the government higher secondary, we want to introduce, should we introduce additional section, or should we introduce a morning section, evening section, or should we appoint additional teacher? All the exercise. And we are encouraging our private institutions, government grant in aid institutions to increase their intake. They will allow and they will be advised to increase intake and to go for morning classes, evening section, or additional section, all this, and they should appoint that is on their own course. All this exercise we were doing. And I think the academic calendar is normal. This time is too early. Why we want to have a uniform admission is, number one, this is too early, number one.
Yes.
And number two, the parents, students were not ready to go for it because it's too early normally, because in previous years the result declared by the end of May or 1st of June. Yeah, so we are 2.5 months advanced this time. we want to have a like comfort time for the students, for their parents, and also the teachers are also just they have to take some relax because they just finished the board evaluation duty. They have to relax for some time. So I think for all this reason, because the normally academic start by the 15th of June earliest. This time by latest we can start by the middle of the May or first week of June. We can start one month before. For all this reason, and also we have to structure how to figure out how to this additional 20,000 students can be absorbed, where and how. So we will be sitting with officials. Yesterday we have said, and we will be sitting today. So I'll be sitting with the deputy commissioners of all the district, and region-wise I'll be meeting the deputy commissioner and officers maybe next week in the Garo Hills, because the problem is Shillong East Coast may not have the much problem. Joy may not have much. Tura may not have much. Suppose, for example, I'll tell you North Garo Hills. North Garo Hills in previous years the first percentage was just 27%, 21%, but this time they are above 80. In Southwest Garo Hills, it's just 30% earlier. This time they've crossed 80.
Yeah.
More burden will be on those rural districts. So Shillong has capacity to absorb, because in the previous years, because Shillong percentage is above 70 to 80, they will not have much burden here. I know, I understand, but burden will be more in rural. We don't want to see tomorrow our students crying on the street. They will agitate. Where we will take admission? We don't want to see them. For all this reason, we want to structure it well, where this additional 20,000 will be absorbed, and what are the things to be done. We are requesting our government institutions, private institutions to increase that intake, and we are working out the modality and formality with our government institutions. All the government high secondary school, how the government secondary school will be upgraded to higher secondary school. All the public schools will be upgraded to higher secondary. So, but in Pinemount, we are exploring. We have to introduce the morning section in the Pinemount or in the Tura Public School and in Zoai also. We are exploring all this. So, after completing all this exercise, we want to, after knowing, yes, today we have the capacity to absorb all. Then we want to start as a uniform. Of course, I understand some has already went ahead.
Yes.
Yeah, we understood because it was on the holidays. They have to do online. There was the rouse, the competitive. So there is always the survival of the fittest. They always that statement applies to everywhere. So every Newton third law of motion always applies.
Yes.
Every action is equal in opposite direction, and survival of the fittest is also applies everywhere.
So yeah, last but not the least, what is your message to the successful students who cleared the SSLC exams and those who do not manage to get through?
Look, now I have been touring across the country. I have seen when we go to the Calcutta, when we go to the Mumbai, when we go to the Delhi, they always ask for the high percentage for admission. Right? They always come with the 90%, 80%, 70%. They don't get so therefore, I think today, this year, with all this, with all this result, we will see we will be capable to take admission across the country, everywhere. But today, I want to tell my young students who have come out with a flying color, yes, because of your hard work, you have achieved that position. You must not take this taken for granted, but it's just this should be your turning point to do better in the state, in the days to come. So, you people, dear students, you are the pillar, the future of our state, of our country, and you must testify to the world that we are second to nobody. So look, I just want to add one more. I have an opportunity to go to the London twice. So I have an opportunity to go to the London School of Economics and the Cambridge University and the Oxford University in London. I have interacted with the students of this university. I have interacted with the faculty members of this university, and especially I have interacted with the students, Indian students in the Oxford and the Cambridge University. I have interacted with them, and they have told us they are spending 18 hours, 15 hours on their research, on the study. And this is testimony that they are at the better standard in the world. Therefore, look all this example. There is no substitution for your hard work. If you want to what to call the sign tomorrow, you have to work hard because there is always a fruit of your labor. So therefore, I want to encourage my dear students, so those who come up with a flying color. You are the future of our state. State will need you tomorrow. Be prepared, and you be the shining star for the state, for the community, and for the country. And let the world understand, and let the world know that Meghalaya students and this students from this northeastern side, we are at par with the rest of the country, the rest of the world, and also those who could not make it. Understand, there is always a next for everybody. So therefore, sometimes the challenge, the failure should be the vitamin, should be the what you call acceleration for you. And this moment, the fail means future. There's always this should encourage, ignite your mind rather. Yeah.
So thank you so much, sir, for your time and for those for answering to our different queries and for clarifying a few doubts that we had. The parlok kat tu pila yo sngo ya ka jingkren jong myntri katnat ka pule puthi halor ki mat ba pher ki be day but kani katnat but kum juru halor ka jing ai kam na ni ka jing padrung kam ya ki noi kai be ki jing du na hang ni hang tai ki badan ha ki school ba pher ni ki college ba pher ha ka jala ka jongi ti pila yo sngo ru ya ka khubor ka jong na ka benta ki khynnah pule ki jongi ki to ki ba pass kan exam kum jori ki to ki ba khlem pass ba ki nangele bha na ka we ka post koi pat te parlok tat hado ni kan do bya phi ha ko we pat ka por ba da ka we pat ka topic ngadi ban ka te mauri na ka mental for front media kuble ka por jong phi baro